Hi YouTube, it's me, the Shy Pianist, or you may know as Donald of Zephyr Wargames, bringing you my Madolche deck profile. Now, 3 months ago, I did a sort of video on OTKs with Predecessor, and since then, people have been requesting my deck profile just to sort of, test it and play it. And I've been quiet since then, and as we've now until we finally got Predecessor, or in this case, Predecessor. For the deck profile, I've actually got 2 variants, and some of you who may have seen my videos on Zephyr Wargames or the really old videos will notice that this is the deck sleeves I use for my pure build, and for my competitive sort of hybrid using the Brent Fusion engine, it was with these sleeves. But since I'll be using the pure build for my locals, I basically swapped them around, and basically will be carrying on using these sleeves and such. So I'll go through the decks both side by side essentially, and you'll have, in this case, this will be the pure, and you've got this with the hybrid of Brilliant Fusion. Now I have taken into account that Brilliant Fusion is now at 1 at the timing of this video, just after the ban list. So let's just crack straight on into it and not say any more. So starting straight off, as you will. This is the kind that I am known, put myself as. This is Madolche Madolche, and for both decks you will play free of. She is hands down has become the best Madolche in the deck. Just her alone is a plus for a card because of new petting Tessor, and she is the most expensive one of them all for a good reason. Okay, next we're moving on to obviously we have triple petting Tessor, the new Madolche. Special summons from your hand if you have no monsters in grave, and if she is special summoned, you can special summon 1 Madolche from your deck and reduce its level by 1. Just want a quick little story. In regards to Sistar, when she was released, I sort of sinned in the fact that I ridiculed her for being a bad card, and I then learned that she was actually really good. So I basically started to do a sort of binder collection of Sistars, basically of both first eds and unlimited eds, and requested a prayer that we get a new Madolche to make her better, and this is the card we got, Pending Tessor. So Sistar has heard my prayers and answered with this new beautiful card. Okay, for the pure build, I play triple Mufle. The hybrid doesn't play it simply because Mufle is now sort of a key card for the pure build to OTK. You can still do it with the hybrid, but you sort of need to use your normal summon for the sort of Brin engine side, so you wouldn't be willing to use your normal summon for Mufle as much. Hence I play 0 on the hybrid and triple on the pure build. Mufle is now a great asset in basically setting up yourself to get Sistar and basically unclog hands. Generally, you're best to have Messenger Lada, who shouldn't be in hand, gets you out a Chateau or ticket, and you proceed your plays from there. Now, triple Angeli, pretty standard. Angeli is still a +2 by herself, and I do play triple Hoot Cake in both builds because you still can go off very well with Hoot Cake, just to free up your grave from any monsters, and then Petting Tessor then goes off from that. I still play Triple Messenger Lalo in both builds. This is simply because the amount of times I special summon this guy out and search is unreal. And yes, you will argue, he clogs in your hand, but like with the way I sort of end up playing the deck, special summoning him more than having games that I break with him is just too good to pass up. So yes, you might have some games where you will break with him, but that's why in the pure build, Mufli is there for the unclog, and in the hybrid build, you sort of discard him for fodder for the Predaplant engine. So that's why he's there. Okay, on to Pudding Cessors. I play for triple Pudding Cess in the pure, simply because I generally find it a lot of fun in looping Pudding Cessors out onto the field and then getting more onto the field, and then just keep on going like that. But with the hybrid, I play the two because it's just make sure you don't make sure you at least have one in deck, or just one to access whether in hand or in deck, just at all times. If you're looking to have more competitive play, you can drop Pudding Cess to like 2 or even just 1. 1 is fine. If you can OTK just on the one play, don't get stopped. 1 is perfectly fine to go off. So that's Pudding Cess. For the hybrid, I might as well cover the monster area lineup. So as mentioned, I have for the Brilliant Fusion essentially. You got the triple Lone Fire, triple Scorpio, and the 1 Cobra, and my targets with the 1 Garnet, Trick Clown, and you have the 1 Brilliant Fusion. Now, personal preference, I prefer the pure over the hybrid, simply because I feel like you can brick on a more consistent basis with essentially 3 bricks in the deck if you draw into it, and if you draw any multiple copies, then you sort of run dead in them in your hand. But it can lead to some really nice plays. Don't get me wrong, it's very nice to have, but I just now prefer to have Pudding Cessor plays more so. Moving on to the spells, I play Double Shadow for both of them. For me, Double Shadow has always been a consistent and nice ratio. Though with the pure build now, I can consider to play Shadow at 3 now, the amount of times I search it, but then I've just considered the option of like opening multiple of them. May not help to extend my board, but it's really dependent on the situation. But I can probably play at 3 just to see it more often, and then just helps unclog the grave and the basically recycle anything in my grave to then let our Pudding Cessor to play. Hybrid is just make sure you have 2, so you always have access to recycle and play. For ticket, I play double ticket for both of them. For me, this has been the standard, the same regardless. So there's that. Twin Twisters, I play at 2 for both of them, just for back row destruction. Enough said on that, really. Triple Call by Grave in both. You really lose hard hand traps in both decks, or both variants. But with now Pudding Cessor, it can bait out, and then you can go off with the other plays like Yukine and Angeli. And I feel like you would lose hard more in the hybrid, because if you summon like the Lone Fire, tribute off, it gets ashed, and then because you've got a monster in grave, you can't Pudding Cessor afterwards. So generally in the pure build, you go Pudding Cessor, gets ashed, then you can at least use your Angeli on afterwards, or Madolche. For the traps on the hybrid, and I play triple red reboot. You're an OTK deck, so stop all the traps. Let's wrap up with the spells on here. Play the 1 Raigeki and the 1 Dark Hole, 1 Monster Reborn, and the 1 Double Summon. Now, this is where I said I could play a 3rd Chateau instead of Double Summon. And a good shout out to my old and favorite tech since playing Madolche, which is you can switch out for chain summoning, because in this day and age, in majority of games you're going to activate something, your opponent's going to respond with something, and then you can simply have the satisfaction of activating chain summoning, allowing you for an additional 2 more summons in your turn. So I feel like double summon is just a bit more, I would say, consistent, because you wouldn't have to rely on having your opponent to respond, and it helps unbrick whatever. You get additional Madolche on the field, or even tribute for pudding tests, and then set up your grave with a Madolche so that you can use Chocolate Mode's effect and go off from there. And to round up the traps on the pure build, triple evenly matched, because you're a turn 2 deck, and just if need be, you will play your evenly first and then make your board and then shuffle whatever's left on your opponent's side of the field. So hopefully that wasn't a bit too confusing, but I'll still go into the extra deck now. So I've got hybrid and pure. So starting straight off, triple Tiamatsu. Nothing really needs to be said with Tiamatsu. She is your boss. D-boss. Chocolate mode, triple. I still play triple chocolate mode in both builds, because she is just essentially, for the hybrid is more of a beat stick, but chocolate mode becomes a lot more predominant to be played, and more I guess favorite to play because of Petting Cessor, and then being able to put Pudding Cess underneath a lot more easier. For the pure, I play triple Sistart, so I wish to confess as I sinned on Sistart, but Sistart is now I feel can be a free of, but I probably may drop her down to 2 once we get our glass souffle. Madolche's glass souffle card. But yes, for now, Sistart I feel is personally at 3, because with Pudding Cessor locking you out to Madolche's, she becomes an important card for you to swap out to then open up the other side of the zones, and then basically go more from there. Hybrid build, you just play the 2 just to have them in the deck. Okay. For both, I played the 1 Lance Verincus, pretty standard that. I'll go finish off with the hybrid on build on the extra deck. You play your 1 Seraphonite, Witch's Apprentice, so after Scorpion Cobra, and then Summon Sork. You revive your Trick Clown and have Wee Witch to make her, and then she'll summon out whatever. And you have your 1 Trapeze, because even though if you don't open up your plant combo, you can still do your Imagining Brilliant Fusion play as such. On the pure build, play the 1 Gargoyle Cowboy and the 1 Levianon 41. These will probably see less. These 2, Gargoyle Cowboy and 41, will see less play once I get the new Madolche, but it's just there for options. Levia still retains its nice usefulness, and because if in the event you ever get the option to be able to use 2 extra monster zones, the Mifu Angeli, our bread and butter combo, is still there for us to use. And to round up on both extra decks, because I don't actually have multiple copies of, is the 1 Skull Dread and 1 Borrowload. So, pretty self-explanatory in that regard sense. But once we get Glass Souffle, I will probably just replace these 2, or maybe drop down a Sistart, but all things considered, Sistart is very nice to have at 3 in the pure build and such. So that is it for the Madolche deck profile. Hope you guys have all enjoyed it. I know a fair of you have been sort of anticipating to see my build because of my combos that I do. So thank you for waiting, really, on that. So yeah, I'll just end it here. Thank you for watching, and as always, guys, happy dueling!